It was another emotional day in a Lethbridge courtroom as jurors heard more of a confession video from a man charged with killing 3 people. We're not going to be playing or describing any of the graphic details about the murders, but I do want to warn you that some of you may find the content disturbing.
Look at me. Is she alive?
She's not alive.
Okay. Where is she?
The devil made me turn her to ashes.
In one of his taped confessions, Derek Saretzky detailing how exactly he killed 2-year-old Haley Dunbar Blanchette in 2015. He also confessed to violently murdering her father and an unrelated woman, 69-year-old Hannah Mekatek. And once again this evening, Sarah Larnuk, our reporter who's been in the courtroom. And Sarah, let's begin with one of the 2 videos that was shown today and the reenactment of the murder of Haley.
Yeah, so I mean, it's called the reenactment because in it, Derek Saretzky leads police officers to a campground, and once they arrive at the campground, he kind of walks around the site with them and, you know, says what he did, where he did it. In it, you can see a fire pit that's still smoldering. It's surrounded by picnic benches, these kinds of things. And then he walks over to a patch in the grass and he says, quote, "I choked her over there." And while a lot of what we heard today was the same facts that we heard in the video yesterday, there was something about seeing where it played out that made it a lot more emotional for people in the courtroom. And kind of at that point, one of the jurors broke down and started crying. And we needed to take a 45-minute break before we could finish the video.
So Sarah, Haley and her dad, 2 of the victims, but the 3rd victim, Hannah Mekatek, not related. And today we found out why it came about that she was killed as well.
Yeah, and I mean, that has been the case for a lot of this, just the question as to how she played into all of this and where she fit in this puzzle, I guess, is what you could call it. She was found dead in her home 5 days before Terry died and Haley was, you know, missing and then later discovered dead. And she doesn't have any connection to the Blanchette family. And in September 2015, when this all happened, Derek Saretzky maintained his innocence in her death. So the second video we saw today didn't take place in September. It took place in March 2016, months later. And it was the same interviewer who was present for the rest of the videos. In this one, Derek Saretzky confesses to the death of Hannah Mekatek, including details like the weapons he used, how he killed her, and all of these kinds of things, which we learned also today that they were holdback details, meaning that police never released these details to the public, so that when someone had these kinds of details, they would know they were a suspect in the case. And at one point, he even said, quote, "I didn't think anybody cared about her." And it was around that point that one of the friends of Hannah Mekatek, who's been in the room for most of the proceedings, she ran out of the room crying, and you could hear her crying from the hallway. It was just incredibly emotional.
And one last thing, so you have Saretzky confessing on tape, these confessions obviously part of the trial being seen by the jury, and yet he's pleading not guilty. Are you getting any sense at all as to what his defense is going to be?
Honestly, not really. He's represented by Patrick Edgerton, and he has taken his opportunity to cross-examine most of the witnesses, but they've been brief. He drew attention to the fact that there was a suspect in the Mekatek homicide that didn't really go any further. And earlier in the trial, he did raise concerns about the reliability of these confession videos, but he hasn't elaborated that in court at all yet.
All right, Sarah, thank you very much.
Thanks, Ian.